next, we got Bradley Beal, you know what I'm saying, all-star shooting guard for the Washington Wizards. Um, young up-and-coming player. I think Beal's 28, 29 years old right now. Um, he's right there in the smack dab starting in his prime. Bradley Beal he led the league in scoring last season. So he could obviously play. He's obviously a superstar, or he's obviously an all-star. What do you see as far as Bradley Beal's personification, bro? Do you see him quite down the line entertaining other teams, or do you see him being like Damian Lillard, sticking it out with Washington and bringing pieces to them? What do you see about this Bradley Beal situation?
Well, I mean, look, what I see about the situation, I mean, I'm going to, that link that you sent me with the Sports Illustrated, he says way at the bottom, after all that reading, he's very Dirk Nowitzki-esque, and for the people out there that don't know what me and BJ are talking about, basically, I'm just getting at is that Dirk Nowitzki and Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, players like that, they stuck with their teams through thick and thin. You know what I mean? It didn't matter if they had a bad season, a good season. They were just those old school minded Larry Bird, guys like that. They are going to stay with their teams, whether they win or lose. And so Damian Lillard, one of those modern day guys that think the same way. And I also believe Bradley Beal's the same way. So ultimately, I think he will end up staying in Washington because he has that type of pedigree. And also reading that article when it came to, the talks of, the idea of the Mavericks, looking at him during his trading options time period. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I'm looking at his stats. He's 28. He's been with the Washington Wizards since he was 19. So he's in his prime years. 2020, 2021, just a point off from his league average, 30.5, 31.3. But this year, 23.6. Now I don't know if that's due to, his disinterest and not winning. Not seeing any progression, why he's scoring lower than he normally does for the last two seasons. But I mean, I feel like Bradley Beal should just stay where he's at because, yeah, if he's willing to, let's say he's willing to go to a place like Dallas. Well, you already know that Luka's the man there. Luka, he leads the team. He runs everything there. He's basically Dirk Nowitzki after Dirk Nowitzki left. So you're not going to go there and really do what you want to do. So if he's willing to kind of play that Dwayne Wade, LeBron James type of thing where, LeBron comes and it's like LeBron becomes the man. Only difference is that Luka's going to stay the man and then you're going to have to play the Wade role because Luka ain't taking no backseat to nobody. You can tell that in his mentality. So I just feel like if he does decide to go to the Mavericks, he's going to have to be okay with probably averaging, less than 25 points a game and hopefully having a good relationship with Luka. But I just feel like he would do more in his own fishbowl, sort of say. So, I mean, anything can happen. He could definitely look for other options out here, man. I mean, trading block coming up. But I think he's good where he's at, man. But what do you think about that?
So a lot to unpack with that. Bradley Beal, and I remember I just said this. I think he is a loyal cat. I think he is loyal to his team. I think he does just want to play basketball. I think he does enjoy being around his teammates. Very similar to Damian Lillard. He doesn't want to, quote unquote, sell out by going to a different team. I think he has a very old school mentality. He gets it out of he has morals. Like I've heard him in interviews and things like that. Like he seems like a person that has morals and high value. So he doesn't want to jump teams. So I don't think that he's eager to do that. But the Wizards right now, if I look at it, they're 11th right now in the Eastern Conference. They've lost 5 straight. They lost to the Clippers after being up by 35 points in the second half. So you got to think about that. 35 points, they have a 35-point lead against the Clippers, and then they come back and lose on their home court by 1 point on the last-second shot by Luke Kennard and one play, which Bradley Beal fouled Luke Kennard on a 3-point line. So you did all of that in a matter of a 48-minute game. Not to mention, Washington was one of the worst teams in the league last season. So my thing is, Washington was one of the worst teams last season. And basically, I remember one game, Bradley Beal was on the bench, like doing this, shaking. They're down by like 25, 30 points against Houston last year. And he was kind of just like shaking his head, trying to control himself, his composure, because I feel like he was about to lose it because they were so bad last year in the NBA season. And you know us as players, bro, when you just keep losing back-to-back games, and you want to win, that does take that takes a mental psyche on your mind, because especially if you're going all full out, doing everything that you can, averaging 25, 30 points, trying to, derail your teammates, trying to bring your teammates together, but you're just not good enough. And that's what Bradley Beal was going through last year. So how many more seasons can the Wizards, led by him, continue to do this before he starts saying, you know what, I've done everything that I can. It's similar to James Harden, similar to Kevin Durant, similar to, we'll see what happens with Damian Lillard. Like, even the most loyal to his person is going to be challenged and tested. Like, is it really worth it to continue to just lose like this? But I'm going to finish off I'm going to let you have your last point, and I'm going to kind of finish off what I have to say. What else do you have to kind of piggyback off of that?
I mean, as a player, I definitely understand the frustration aspect of it. I mean, look, I get mad if I lose 2 games in a row, in pickup ball. So the fact that he's playing NBA seasons, man, and then, like you said, you just losing, just in rows and just consistently of not winning. And then, you're personally, as an individual, you're good enough to bring something to the table. But again, basketball is a team sport. So a lot of chemistry. I mean, if you look, they played the Clippers. I think he probably was learning a lot playing against them, because you down 35, they don't even got their star players, but it shows the chemistry that those players have amongst each other to come back from 35 points. So, I mean, sometimes you can use an opposing team just to see what you're missing in your own team, because LA, man, like I said, you don't got the clock. You don't got PG-13. And them cats playing like they've been playing for like the Spurs, like for 20, 50 years or something like that. Like, these dudes just got it together. So, I understand the frustration, but he really has to ask himself, is it worth it? Because, like, sometimes, like, look at LeBron when he first left Cleveland. When he first left, I didn't really get mad at LeBron, because I was like, bruh, y'all got like the best player in the world right now in y'all's grasp, and y'all not doing nothing for him. Like, this is a championship dude, and y'all ain't doing nothing for him. So when he decided to leave, I didn't like the way he did it, but I did respect it. When he decided to leave, I was like, can you blame him? Y'all ain't doing nothing for him. And then on another note, on top of that, when it comes to Bradley Beal, bro, how many more years can people sit here and watch you lose? How many more years can people sit here and really be interested in not only a loser, just overall as a team and an organization? But then, unlike LeBron, at least LeBron was fun to watch when he was losing. I mean, he was like, he was very magnanimous. He was dynamic. I mean, he was losing, but this dude was making posters on the Pistons, on the on the Boston Celtics. Like, dude, LeBron made posters when he was young, man. So it was like, even though he was losing, he was fun to watch. So it's like Bradley Beal, I don't really get excited. Like, he's nice, don't get me wrong. All love to you, Bradley Beal, but I don't be like into the game. You know what I'm saying? You're not like a ticket, like the big ticket, like how Garnett was back in the day with the Timberwolves. Like, they lost, but he was fun to watch. Sean Kemp was fun to watch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're not really fun to watch. You're very skillful. You ball out of control, but it's not fun to watch. So how many more years will the organization, will the fans, will the whole collective really sit and be like, yeah, we like your loyalty, but you ain't doing nothing. And the NBA is a business. So back to you, B Jizzle.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna finish it off with here. Like, we made a video earlier this season about the Wizards being number first in the Eastern Conference. Now, of course, it's like the first 10, 12 games, but they were still number one. And it's a big jump from what they were last year, seasons previous. They haven't really been competitive since John Wall in the mid 2000s, before he got hurt with some injuries. But what Bradley Beal's basically going through right now, man, like, I've heard 2 reports. One from Shams. I think his last name is Charisma. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But he said that Bradley Beal has no desire to leave Washington. This was last season. He had no desire to leave, because he feels like, if I go somewhere else, then they're not going to build around you. Kind of like what you just said. If he goes to Dallas, he has to understand, like, okay, I'm going to be the second option. I'm not going to be the first option. Well, here's the thing about it, though. You have to accept your role that you're in if you want to win a championship, if you want to be the man. And I feel like with a guy like Luka Doncic, I think that would be a good fit, because what he'll be is a souped up Tim Hardaway Jr. Catch threes, run the break, got a lot of screen and roll actions. He'll be a souped up Tim Hardaway Jr. Bradley Beal and Luka Doncic with Porzingis. that's not a big three, but it's a very, very great, good team. And the way that Jason Kidd has those guys playing defense right now, the Mavs is a lot more improved from last season. So you add Bradley Beal to that mix, that's going to be like that's going to be a serious playoff team. So Bill has to make a decision. Do you want to be just the guy on a losing team continuously? Because I don't think Bradley Beal is the number one on a championship team. I think he's like a number two, even in some cases, maybe a three, but he's able to be a number two on a championship team. But he has to understand, okay, well, do I want to win a championship or do I just want to be a man on another team? And then, Brian Windhorst this season just reported that Bill's not signing an extension with Washington. He's not signing an extension. So that's what we keep saying, that things can always change. Things can always happen where it kind of soups up your mindset. It's like, man, I'm looking around, I'm 28, 29 years old. I can't keep wasting my prime years. I got to think about winning. So him not signing that extension tells me that he's not fully invested with the squad. Like, even though what he says, I don't have the desire to leave or the Wizards are moving in the right direction, if I don't see you sign on that dotted line, I can't really go by just your words. I'm going by your actions. But that's just me, man. You got anything else to say?
Hey, man, Bradley Beal, you trying to win a chip, you got to dip. That's all I got to say, man.
And we're going to end it right there, you know what I'm saying? Follow us on our social media page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, you know what I'm saying? Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Iheartradio, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, as well as Twitter. We have a Twitter now, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Get all of our updated videos by hitting that bell. Like, share, subscribe on our YouTube page. You know what I'm saying? We're posting videos every single Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Continue to follow the Two Flies brothers on the panel. Go and give me social media, bro. Get up out of here.
Hey, man, y'all already know what it is. It's Rick Masters, the co-host that does the most, at Rick Masters23 on Instagram or Mr. Lee on Instagram. Rick Masters everywhere else, man. Hey, we appreciate you guys looking us up, watching our channel. As the brother said, man, the main host, hey, we do it the best. We do it the most. Hey, get these shirts, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast shirts, $25 a pop. We got the red, the white, the black, and the white tanks. Ladies, don't be afraid. We got all sizes for you guys that watch us. Hey, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, yo. Back to you, B Jizzle.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? We here. Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.